Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we are going to be trying out the new Essence Instaperfect liquid makeup. So it's just a foundation and it looks like this. It's quite small, but it is actually 30 mils. So this is actually how much you do get in a normal foundation. It does actually say on the front it is a strong matte effect. So I've never heard something say it's a strong matte effect. It's waterproof and buildable coverage. I got it in the lightest shade, which is 10. And this was, oh, let me go check my receipt. Okay, so I've just picked up my receipt. It was £4.50. I bought mine from Wilko, so you can get them from Wilko in the UK. I don't think Essence is a UK brand. I've got the feeling that it's a German brand, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But they do sell it in America and other places, but in the UK you can get it from Wilko. So this is the lightest shade, which is called 10 Cool Porcelain. It is the lightest shade of the range. When I was in store they only had about 5 shades, so pretty poor shade range. I don't know if they have more online. I just went into store, and so if you wear anything darker than a medium, I don't think this will suit you, unfortunately. So that's something that they need to work on. And yeah, but they may have more on the website. It's just what I saw in store. But I did also pick up this concealer. This is the Essence Camouflage Plus Matte Concealer. Now this is the concealer that claims it covers instantly dark circles, blemishes and tattoos. It is long lasting and waterproof. So I do have tattoos, so later on I'm going to try that out, because a lot of foundations and concealers do claim like things like this, but they don't. So we'll give it a test out. And again, that is the lightest shade. That is 10 Light Rose. And that one was £2.80. They did also have like a dewy version as well, but they didn't have many shades in store. But on the website they do have more shades. So as we're trying this out, it is a little bit late in the day today. It is around 2:30, but it is a weekend, so I'm going to be staying up later. So I'm still going to give it the full 8 hours wear test. And just to say, if anybody's noticed, I am filming in a different room today, just because it's really bright outside today and it's really messing with my lighting. So I've come into a darker room, so I hope you don't mind that I don't have the usual makeup set up behind me. So I have primed my face with the usual primer that I use for these foundation tests, which is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I have these minis of them and they just last ages, so I've just been using that. That's like 7 mil. I use this primer because it does nothing drastic to my skin. It's an all-around good primer. It's not going to change the outcome of the foundation. It's just going to make a nice base. I also, when I do my foundation tests, I also put it all over my whole face, because we're going to do one side of the face with the beauty blender or a blending sponge and another side with a brush. So I don't want to do an unprimed and a primed side, just because we're using 2 different methods of application. So I don't want to, give different results. Okay, so I'm going to be using Real Techniques products today. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques foundation sponge, and I'm also going to be using this Real Techniques brush. This is the Expert Face Brush. This is just the brush I've been using lately and I've been finding it works quite well. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to put it on my face. Okay, so this is the brush side, and look at the difference. My face is a little bit off at the moment because I went on holiday about a fortnight ago, so I'm a little bit burnt on the top of my head and on my nose, so I'm looking either pink or a little bit brown in places, but this is like my normal colour. But look at how much different it is from the foundation side to the normal side. I did put a little bit more on and build it up, just because I needed to put some on my nose, but when I kind of squeezed it out, loads came out, so I ended up putting like a little bit more on. But yeah, it is it's got a little bit of shine to it at the moment, so it's not strong matte yet, but it's not fully set. So and obviously I will be using like powders and things, but wow, look at that coverage. And I think at the moment I could maybe even go up a shade, because I am normally the lightest shade, but as I say, I have been on holiday, I've got a tiny bit of a tan. So, but yeah, look at that. So now we're going to put the sponge side on. Okay, so that is the sponge side. I personally don't think I've got as much coverage on this side, and I did use the same amount of product because I went in to get the foundation for my forehead and loads came out, so I put some on the rest of my face and built it up a little bit more then. And yeah, it's definitely not as full coverage as this side of my face, so if you like, you know, not as full coverage, you know, it'd be better using a sponge, and then full coverage, you know, like a brush. So yeah, I'm really liking the brush side at the moment. Okay, so we're going to try out the concealer now. So yeah, this is the Coverage Plus Matte Concealer in the, again, the lightest shade. I'm the lightest shade in both, so both the foundation and the concealer, so I'm interested to see whether there's any kind of shade difference, like if it's a little bit lighter or not, but we will give it a go. It's not as thick as I was expecting, and it's definitely not lighter than the foundation, which is a bit of a disappointment. And it does have a little bit of a smell to it. I think the foundation did as well, but not as much as the concealer does. So I'm just going to blend that into my face now with the Luxie Precision Foundation brush. It just looks like this. It's not really blending as well as I would like it to, so I'm just going to go in with my beauty blender now and just smoothing it over. It's not a beauty blender, it's a Real Technique sponge. I always say that. Okay, so that has just smoothened it over. Obviously, because I am the lightest shade, you know, like, there's only so far you can go with light concealers, but you know, some of the other concealers that I have are lighter, so I'm a little bit disappointed that the concealer is not lighter than the foundation, that they are the same shade. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I would like a little bit of brightening. So yeah, but yeah, my face does look very full coverage considering I paid £4.50 for the foundation and £2.80 for the concealer. So we are going to put some powder on the face now. I have an oily T-zone and dry cheeks, but I always powder my foundation, so I'm not going to do anything different, you know, because I need to see how it wears and how it's going to wear on my skin, so I'm going to do what I normally do now. So I'm going to use the Primark My Perfect Colour powder. I always use this powder and it's really nice. It's £2. I don't believe in buying high-end powders just because I think they do exactly the same job as, you know, high-end in drugstore, so there's no difference. So and it's really good, this powder, so it has a little bit of a colour to it. So yeah, we'll just put some of that on our face now. And now I'm going to put some of the Maybelline, it's the Matte and Poreless powder. So this is in the shade 90 Translucent. I'm just going to use this under my eyes and around the nose. It does make it quite bright, so that's good because it can do what the concealer didn't. So yeah, I'm just going to put some of that on this little Real Techniques, what is it called, a setting brush. Okay, so that is the foundation and the concealer set. I do think I look quite matte, but I do think that's probably down to the powder. So I probably would need to try the foundation without a powder another time to see whether it does have a strong matte finish that it does claim to have. So yeah, it is. It's quite late in the day today. It's around 2:30. So I'm going to do some check-ins later, and I'll probably come back with more makeup on because, you know, why not? So yeah. But so far I'm liking the look of it, you know, like it looks really nice. It looks full coverage. It's covered up like some of my blemishes that I do have. So yeah, liking it so far. So we'll see you again in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So the time is now about 6:30. So we are about 4 hours after the first put on of the foundation. So I've done the rest of my face as well. I don't know how I'm feeling about this lip, so I might have to take that off shortly. On the outer parts of my face, I really like it. Like, it looks really matte. It's just around the size of my nose that it is starting to break up a little bit. I would normally expect that from a foundation if I was doing something like strenuous, but after 4 hours, yeah, that's not great, but everything else looks really good. So I'm not sure really. My under eyes still look really good. Yeah, it's just the outside of my nose really that I'm starting to collect a little bit of oil. Okay, so what I wanted to do now is to test the concealer, because it says it's a camouflage concealer that covers instantly dark circles, blemishes and tattoos. So I wanted to test that because I have tattoos, so it'd be nice to know that there's an affordable way of covering up them, so if you ever need to, because I see in a lot of like makeup groups people wanting to cover them up for things like weddings and things, so it'd be nice that you can get an affordable version. So, oh yeah, it does actually say on there, it says waterproof tattoo covering. I don't know how well you can see because my camera doesn't have autofocus. So yeah, I'm just going to put some of that on my, how well can we see? There we go. So that is just like one swipe of it. I mean, it does cover it, but it's not mixed in yet. I suppose it also depends on the kind of tattoos that you have, whether their colour, it's all going to be different. So, and obviously how much of this concealer that you put on as well will also make a difference. So there we go. I mean, I have covered up my tattoo, but it looks pretty bad. So I thought we'll just blend it in a little bit. Okay, so I mean, from a distance it covers it up, but you can still see it there. So like if it's from there, it does cover your tattoos, but I personally, and especially at my arm's length, I can still see that. I'm going to put some powder over it now to see if that makes a difference. Okay, so we are going in with the translucent powder. And a generous helping of that, just to set it down and see if that does anything different, if it gives it some extra coverage. I'm going in with a second layer now. Let's get rid of that. Now to me that has not covered that tattoo because I can still quite clearly see it. I don't know if you'd have to go in and layer it up a few times, but for me that's not lived up to its claim, because something that I think would cover tattoos, I think of foundations, I think of the Jouer, the high coverage foundation that they have, I think of the Kat Von D Lock-It, yeah, and this one isn't up there, so for me personally that doesn't cover tattoos. Okay, so the time is now around 11:15 at night, so I've been wearing this foundation for about 9 hours now. So it's the Essence Instaperfect, and yeah, I am quite oily, and I've done nothing strenuous today. Yeah, and my face is really oily. I have got 2 different highlights on because I've just done a video about them, so they are the Obsession highlights, and I will leave a link to them in the description bar. But yeah, at the 4-hour mark I was oily around my nose, so that's kind of spread all down my T-zone. My chin is really oily, my cheeks are fine, and then yeah, just the top of my forehead is oily. But as much as I am oily, the foundation is still there, like it's not rubbed off. I do think that if I wore a really good mattifying primer, it probably would do this foundation a lot of good. It's just because I use the Smashbox Photo Finish primer, it's probably, you know, it's not changed this foundation at all. But if I wore a mattifying one, it definitely would control that oil a little bit more. And I'd be interested to just to see, you know, what that did. So I'm definitely going to play around with this foundation a little bit more and, you know, try different primers and skincare beforehand to see what that does to it. But yeah, I mean, it does look, even though I'm oily, it still doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so overall, mixed thoughts on this foundation. For the first 4 hours it looked really good, and then onwards it's not been that great. But yeah, it went on full coverage. Maybe if you've got a drier or a normal skin tone, you might really like this. And then like me, if you've got oily or combination skin tone, you might have to find something, some kind of combination that works better for you. But yeah, it's not bad for £4.50, and I will keep continuing to use it. So thanks for watching this video today. Check out the links for other videos in the description box, and I will see you again shortly. Bye.